Hi all, good morning, good evening. Am I audible now?
Yes.
Thank you for the confirmation. So we'll wait for a couple of minutes. People are still joining in, so we'll wait for them and we'll give it a start. So I'll request you all to be on the call. Thank you so much. So we'll wait for one more minute for others to join and we'll start everyone. Thank you. So we'll get started everyone. So I believe some of you might have joined today for the first time. So before we start the session, I would just like to discuss the ground rules. So everyone, like each and every session is going to be recorded. So yesterday we had the demo session. The recording of the demo session has already been shared. So today is our first session. So each and every session is going to be recorded. The documents, the notes, everything is going to be shared with you all. So during the call, I'll request you all to be on mute. Whenever you have any questions, you can unmute yourself and ask your question. So we'll get started for today. Let me start the recording, everyone. Hi all, good morning, good evening. Welcome to day one of our exclusive training, Generative AI, AI agents, and MCP in software testing, where we are going to learn how to leverage generative AI, the AI agents, and MCP in the field of functional automation and performance testing. So this highly rated course is provided by Isha Training Solutions, and I am your trainer, Chandra. So I'll be providing you the training on this course. Yesterday, we had the demo session, right, where we went through the topics which we are going to cover as part of this training, as well as we took the questions, and then I showed you some use cases, how AI can, uh, save our efforts to a great extent, right, all of you? So we'll get started for today. So I'll like to reiterate everyone that each and every session is going to be recorded, and the recording of the demo session has already been shared. So this session is also being recorded. So I'll request you all to be on mute during the session. However, whenever you have any query, please unmute yourself and ask. because when I'll be presenting my screen, I'll not be able to see if any of you have raised your hand. So please unmute yourself and you can ask your question. Okay. Every document, every presentation, every notes, whatever I demonstrate during the session will be shared with you all. So let us begin for today, everyone. So let's start with day one. I'll start sharing my screen. Hope my screen is visible to all of you. Can anyone confirm with a thumbs up? Yep. Thank you. So this particular link, all of you, generative AI, AI agents and MCP in software testing, it has already been shared with you all in the WhatsApp group. So you all can, go through the details of this course. Like if you want to understand more about this course, you can also go through the demo session recording if you didn't get a chance to attend it yesterday. So the course content or the course syllabus is available on this page. Okay. So let us start with today, everyone. So we are going to start our training like generative AI, AI agents and MCP in software testing, where we are going to learn how to leverage it, these things in functional automation and performance testing. So before we start, everyone, let us think. Okay, let us think. What comes to your mind when you hear the term generative AI? I would like to take 2-3 inputs, everyone. What do you think? Or what comes to your mind when you hear the term generative AI? Anyone? If you want, you can put your answers in the chat as well. Any responses? Okay. Next. Can machines create like humans? What do you think? This could be a simple answer in yes or no. Anyone? Guys, let's try to make this session interactive. Okay. So there's no right answer, there's no wrong answer. I'm just trying to understand your thought process. Anyone? Can machines create like humans? Yes or no?
Maybe yes.
Okay, maybe yes. Anyone else in the chat? I think no. Okay. Okay. So coming to the next one. Have you encountered any content which has been generated using AI? This one definitely should be yes, I think for most of you, right? Even though you might not have used AI, even though you might not have used AI to create content, probably, some of you would have definitely used it probably, but you must have definitely encountered the AI content, right? So there are so many videos available, memes available, music's available, right? So you must have definitely encountered the content which is generated through AI. At least the political parties, right? They try to come up with different funny videos. And they just put a disclaimer, AI generated, right?
Yes, sir.
Now, yesterday I showed you two use cases, right? One was like I gave one use case and I was able to generate the test scenarios. So it generated some answers for me, right? It generated some output for me. So how do these different AI models? So AI model means those tools which are built on mathematical models. Will go to that, everyone. Like AI, yesterday I was using Chat GPT, for example. So Chat GPT is an example of an AI model. Okay, so how do these different AI models generate answers? You must have seen the advertisements of Chat GPT or Gemini, right? So you all must have seen. So when Google does the advertisements of its flagship phones, it also promotes the Gemini AI, right? So how do these AI models basically generate answers, right? Then what potential applications of generative AI excite or concern you the most? So AI is now being used in different fields, everyone. Okay. Some of those would be, exciting for you because it has a bright future, and some would be deeply concerning as well, right? Like they generate fake videos, right? They generate fake videos. So that is really concerning. You means everyone is not computer literate, right? So they might not be able to distinguish which one is true and which one is false. So that is a big challenge today. So everyone, if anyone is trying to join the call, maybe you can admit them. Okay. Yeah. Thank you for that. I think there are some new messages. Okay. Then how do you think, this is very, very important, everyone. How do you think generative AI will impact your industry or daily life in the next 5 years? Do you think it will replace jobs or it will create new ones? Anyone would like to give some thoughts on this last point? No? You definitely must be going through the news, right? Recently, the prices of the IT shares went down before the Middle East war, right? Why? There was an event, everyone. What was that? The CEO of Anthropic, right? Anthropic, which has the product Claude. Okay. So the CEO of Anthropic gave a statement that in 6 months or in 1 year time, will not need developers. Our AI tools will be able to develop code. So, that statement really created ripples in the IT industry. And the very next day, the stock prices went down for almost every IT company, right? So we need to be ready for it, everyone. I do not agree that it is going to replace jobs. Okay. But yes, as I told you yesterday, whoever doesn't adopt AI, whoever doesn't learn AI, they are going to face difficulties. They are going to face challenges.
अच्छा अच्छा अच्छा
Sorry, can you please go on mute? So,
हाँ चेंज वाले काम में रोड पर बहुत ही बिजी हूँ ठीक
so
Hello.
I'm
Sir,
not
you're not.
able.
No, sir, you're
What
not audible.
is not audible?
I think someone muted me. Okay, someone muted me. Guys, please do not do this. And I'll sincerely request everyone else to be on mute. Whenever you have any question, please ask. Okay, so thank you for highlighting that, I was on mute. So what I was telling is, it is very much essential that we adopt AI because it is going to definitely impact our jobs. It is not going to replace, rather it will means whoever doesn't adapt to it, definitely there is a challenge for them, but it is definitely going to create new ones, because in the resumes, right, you will be able to write about Gen AI, and 2 years before, right, in the job descriptions, in the JDs, you would never find Gen AI as a requirement. But now in the JDs, you find this requirement also. It can be developer, it can be QA, right? So this is definitely a requirement nowadays. So when you learn AI, you are increasing the value of a resume. Okay, fine then. So we discussed these different points, everyone. So let us now go to the next slide. AI. So before going to generative AI, we will discuss about AI. So AI is artificial intelligence, everyone. AI is artificial intelligence. So I think you all know what is artificial intelligence, right? So it is basically the field of computer science which is able to simulate human intelligence. If I say what is artificial intelligence, the field of computer science which can simulate human intelligence. Now this AI, right, the artificial intelligence is of three types. Okay, they are artificial narrow intelligence, artificial general intelligence, and artificial super intelligence. Okay, now this artificial narrow intelligence, it is known as weak AI. Okay, it is known as weak AI. Now why it is called as weak AI? It excels at different tasks. Okay, by leveraging its ability to process and analyze vast amount of data. It can process and analyze, okay, vast data, vast data. But remember, it cannot make independent decisions. If it has to, decide what it has to do, it cannot take independent decisions. It cannot learn new skills on its own. Okay, it cannot develop a deep understanding about the world. So it basically relies on algorithms. It relies on algorithms, pre-programmed algorithms. Understood? And also data, pre-programmed algorithms and data. And it needs the assistance, or it needs human intervention to do its required operations. So that is basically ANI, artificial narrow intelligence. Okay. Then we have artificial general intelligence, everyone. Okay. Now this is known as strong AI. So ANI was weak AI. This is our strong AI. It can understand, it can learn, and it can apply the knowledge in a broad range of tasks. Okay, at the level of a human being. So the way a human being thinks, the way a human being analyzes, the way a human being understands things, the way the human being learns things, right? Artificial general intelligence can also do that. But remember, this is yet to be developed, yet to be developed, which can be at the level of human intelligence, everyone. Artificial general intelligence. Then we have artificial super intelligence. Now this was at the equivalent level, right? General intelligence was at the equivalent level of human intelligence. So super intelligence means that AI which can surpass human intelligence. It can go beyond human intelligence, everyone, across all the tasks. Okay. Now this concept is again speculative. This concept is again speculative. it is not yet developed. Hypothetical concept, everyone. Hypothetical. It is not yet developed. Okay. And these kind of discussions, take place in the tech forums, uh, other, sci-fi literature. But yes, but you cannot deny, right? Things can develop because we now have AI, which is able to do a lot of tasks for us. Now, who can tell me in which era or which AI are we currently using based on the discussion what I did now? Definitely ANI. Definitely ANI, because I told that these two are yet to be developed, right? So we are living in the era of artificial narrow intelligence now. Okay. And it is now being used in different areas. Okay, I'll come to that. So the question which I was trying to ask is, which type of AI are we mostly using now? See, so the answer is artificial narrow intelligence, everyone. Okay, artificial narrow intelligence. So the different areas, okay, the different areas where we have the scope of AI. I have given some important areas, but apart from this, also we have the, utilization of AI, healthcare, education, entertainment, transportation. Whoever is from India, whoever is from India and have a subscription of Geo Hotstar, I definitely think most of you would have, because in India we follow cricket a lot, right? And the recently T20 World Cup was held in India, and Geo Hotstar had the broadcasting rights. How many of you have noticed it has come up with, a series which it claims to be completely developed on AI? Have you ever noticed? Anyone noticed? They have developed the Mahabharat series completely developed on AI. Are you getting me? So such is the extent, guys, where AI had put its footsteps. Okay, clear, everyone? So healthcare, education. Now in healthcare, by looking into the reports of a patient, I do not need to go to a doctor. By looking into the reports, the AI can suggest me what kind of diseases do I have, or what kind of medicines do I need to take to treat my disease. Okay, so things are advancing in different areas. Okay, any questions, anyone, on this slide? But remember, with AI, right? With AI comes responsibilities. So the bigger power you have, the bigger responsibility you have, right? The bigger power you have, the bigger responsibility you have. So remember, the true power of artificial intelligence can only be realized when you use it, wisely. And when you use it ethically, that is very, very important, everyone. You need to use it ethically. Remember, the output which is generated, right? The output which is generated by AI might be the output of AI. But when you are using that output in your day-to-day activities, it becomes your responsibility. It becomes your responsibility. Okay. So be careful, be wise, be vigilant when using AI, and please use it ethically. Okay. So let us go to the next slide. A humble request, everyone. Please be on mute. Any questions? Okay, very good, Rohit. You answered A and I. So I believe that was the answer to the question, in which era are we living now, or which AI are we using now? So that is A and I. Okay. So then we'll move on to the key concepts and the terms, everyone. So now I'm going to tell you about the key terms which are relevant to the field of artificial intelligence. The first being artificial intelligence itself. The first being artificial intelligence itself. As I told you, artificial intelligence is a field of computer science, and it is an umbrella term, blanket term. It takes all of the AI concepts under it. Okay, it covers all the different AI terminologies under it. So it is a blanket term. It is an umbrella term for what? Machines that can simulate human intelligence. That can simulate human intelligence. So if I have to draw that, everyone, I'll draw this figure actually for your understanding. So this is my superset or the complete umbrella. Okay, the complete circle. Okay, so this is basically my AI. AI means artificial intelligence, everyone. Okay, AI means artificial intelligence. So this is basically a field where we are trying to create smart systems. Okay, here we are trying to create smart systems. Now what those smart systems will do, they can perform those tasks which normally will require HI, human intelligence. Okay, they can do those tasks which will require human intelligence. Now what are those tasks? They can recognize the speech, right? Speech of human beings. They can process the natural language spoken by human beings. They can generate text. They can make decisions. They can make decisions. How? By mimicking the human thinking, the way human beings think. They try to mimic. Now how are they able to do that? The algorithms are already written based on the mathematical models. Based on the algorithms, they are able to do that. Okay, so I'll repeat. AI or artificial intelligence is a branch of computer science where the objective is to create machines which can simulate human intelligence. It focuses on creating intelligent systems which can perform the tasks which need human intelligence, like speech recognition, then your natural language processing, text generation, decision making. Okay, so virtual assistants is an example of artificial intelligence, everyone. Okay, now the next term. So we'll not go much deeper into this because our objective is to learn generative AI. Now for your benefit, so that the background about artificial intelligence, the background about generative AI, I'm discussing these terms. Machine learning. Okay, machine learning. Now this machine learning is a branch of AI, everyone. Okay, it is a branch of AI or a subset of AI. So it is a branch of AI. Machine learning. Okay, it is a branch of AI. Now, what is it? The objective, okay, or it focuses on developing the algorithms. The machine learning, it focuses on developing the algorithms and mathematical models, primarily the statistical models, which can enable the computer systems to learn from experience, to learn from data. Okay, they learn from the data and they improve their skills. These machine learning systems are able to improve their skills without explicit programming instructions. So you feed data to these models, they will learn from those models, and they will be able to improve their skills. They will be able to learn from that data without explicit programming instructions. Okay, so the machine learning will enable the computer systems to analyze the data, to detect the patterns in the data. Okay, whatever data you provide, what is the pattern present within the data? And then based on that, it will be able to make decisions or take decisions, and it will be able to make predictions, everyone. Okay, so machine learning is a branch of AI. Now some examples, all of you have your email, right? You have your email system. When you receive email from different sources, your email client, anyone it could be, it can recognize some emails as spam emails or junk emails, right? It is able to filter your emails. How does it do that? Machine learning. Okay, the spam filtering, fraud detection, all these are machine learning concepts or implementation of machine learning. Okay, then deep learning. Okay, deep learning. Now this deep learning is a subset of machine learning. Deep learning is a subset of machine learning, all of. And machine learning, it was learning from data, it was learning the pattern, it was analyzing the data, right? Now we go a step forward. Now guys, whenever our human intelligence or our human brain, right? Human brain is a part of our nervous system. So when the human brain is trying to learn, when is trying to process things, how does it do? We have neural networks in our body, right? We have neural networks in our body. So the brain is able to send signals to the different organs and receive signals from the different organs through these neural networks. We have neurons, right? So neural network is present throughout our body. Similarly, what the mathematicians have done as part of deep learning, they have developed artificial neural networks, again using mathematical models, everyone. Okay, so they have developed artificial neural networks, and these artificial neural networks, they can be very accurate in object detection. Okay, object detection, image recognition, speech recognition, language translation. So we had this Google Translator, right? You provide a text in some particular language, then you get the translated version, right, in any specific language which you want. So that is an example of deep learning. That is an example of deep learning. Speech processing, image processing. Okay, so you were giving the images, right? In Google, you provide the images to search that image earlier, and it was able to search that particular image and generate the answer for you, right? So the deep learning systems can process and analyze various data like images, sound, text, very similar way to the human brain. So what we have learned till now, we have learned about AI, machine learning, deep learning. Next we move forward. NLP, natural language processing, everyone. Natural language processing. Now this NLP is a subset of AI again. Okay, this NLP is a subset of AI. So ML is a branch of AI, NLP is another branch of AI. Now what is its use, everyone? What is its use? It focuses on the interaction between human beings and computer systems. Now when you type anything in a computer or whatever you do, you type it in the way you understand any language, right? So in your natural language you type that. But in the back end, in the background, do you think the computer understands your language? No, right? The computer understands only 1, 0, the binary language, right? The binary language. So this natural language processing, okay, natural language processing, what it does is it basically combines, you see here, I have drawn the figure in such a way that there is a commonality between machine learning, deep learning. So it combines your machine learning models and techniques with specific language algorithms to decode the human language. So the objective of NLP is that it can enable the computer systems to understand, to interpret, to generate and manipulate the natural language of human beings like text or speech. So it takes the human language as an input, processes it, and then converts it into a language of numbers, which our computers will understand, right? So it takes the input as natural language, processes it, and converts it into the number language, which the computers understand, 1 and 0, right? Then once that is done, the processing is done, whatever output, again, it will be generated by the computers in the form of number language. Then that is converted back into human language. So NLP deals with it, everyone. Then comes our topic of interest is generative AI. Now, generative AI is again a branch of artificial intelligence. Okay, it is a branch of artificial intelligence which uses ML, NLP, DL, that is machine learning, deep learning, natural language processing. It utilizes all three. So what happens here is, so I'll write this as Gen AI. Okay, Gen AI. In Gen AI, huge amount of data, everyone. Huge amount of data is basically fed, okay, is basically fed to the generative AI model. And these data sets are analyzed. How? It uses the ML algorithms, specifically the deep learning algorithms. Okay, and NLP helps generative AI to interpret human language. So by leveraging deep learning, by leveraging NLP, generative AI can produce, very, very important guys, it can produce new and original content. Generative AI produces new and original content like real images, music, video, text, or any other format. You can generate your PowerPoint presentations. You can generate your Word documents. You can generate, in Excel sheet, in, uh, text format, videos, musics. Okay. So this is our generative AI. So that is what we are going to learn in this training, like how we can leverage this generative AI in the field of software testing. Then comes, right? Then comes language models. Okay, language models. Now, language models is basically the type of generative AI, everyone. Okay, language models are the type of generative AI. So I will write this as LM. Okay, language models. Now, what is this language model? These language models, they have the neural networks with so many different parameters. They have different parameters which are trained on large quantities of data. Okay, they are trained on large quantities of data to understand the text, everyone. So these language models will process the natural language inputs, whatever we tell, right? As human beings, we will tell in our natural language. So these LMs will be able to process these natural language inputs. And what they do, how they're able to generate? They will, very, very important is, they will process that input, analyze the pattern, and they will predict the next word. They're able to predict, guys. They're able to predict the next word based on what they have already seen. Okay, so the language models, they can generate new text based on the instruction provided by the user. So what is that instruction known as? That instruction is known as prompt, or any context reference you provide, Okay, so these are the key terms about artificial intelligence, everyone. So please remember this figure, everyone. Okay, the relationship between the key terminologies of artificial intelligence. Any questions, anyone? Okay, so we move to the next slide. So primarily, we are going to deal with language models. Okay, so language model is a branch of generative AI. Okay, we are primarily going to deal with language models. Now, language models means, right? These language models, as I told you, mathematical models, everyone. Please remember mathematical models. And how they are going to work? They are going to be trained. Trained means training, feeding data. Okay, so they are trained on extensive textual data sets. Now, when you ask a mathematical question to me or to anyone else, they are able to solve it. How? Because they have learned that concept. Yes or no? As a human being, they have learned that concept. Now, with no offense to anyone, okay, if somebody hasn't gone to school at all, or they do not know anything about mathematics, they do not know anything about the mathematical operations, if you ask any question to them, will they be able to solve on mathematics? If I ask someone who hasn't gone beyond primary education or never seen school, if you ask them to solve questions on Newton's second law, right? By the way, Newton's second law is, I think, force is a product of mass and acceleration, right? So will they be able to solve the problems on that? I don't think so. But whoever has learned that concept, they will be able to solve that problem. So that is the case here, all of you. How these models are able to help us? Because they have been trained on that data. Okay, they have been trained on extensive textual data sets to comprehend, means to understand and produce human language. Okay, so the language models have been trained on extensive data sets to understand it and then produce human language, everyone. They can predict the text sequences. This is a very, very important property of them. They can predict the text sequences and they play a crucial role in various applications. There are two types of language models. Okay, there are two types of language models. What are they? They are large language models or LLMs. Large language models, LLMs, and small language models, SLMs. Okay, few people were asking about language models or large language model yesterday. I hope you are now getting to understand logically, right? The way I am explaining, I hope you are able to understand now. So there are two types, large language models and small language models. Now let us see the difference between them. Very, very important, all of you. If someone asks you in the interviews, what is the difference between large language model and small language model? See here, language model means I told you in the previous slide that what they do, they are able to process the natural language inputs. How? They have been trained on large extensive data sets to understand text. So on the basis of that, they are able to understand the inputs, right? Whatever natural language inputs the human beings provide, and then they are able to predict. Now we have two types of language models: large language model and small language model. See everyone, large language model is basically trained on larger data sets. Okay, large language model is trained on larger data sets, and they use DL. DL means deep learning and transformer architecture. I'm going to explain this transformer architecture also in details. Many people skip that. Remember, the LLMs use the transformer architecture, okay, and deep learning. And very important is they are trained on larger data sets. But in SLM, less training data. Okay, less training data, and they have simpler architecture, everyone. The resource requirements. Resource means the computation power, right? The computation power, the CPU, the memory, right? So the computer operates on the basis of these resources, right? So whenever you have a 16 GB memory and another one is a 32 GB memory, so the processing will differ, right? Similarly, the CPU thing also, right? If you have 2-core CPU or 4-core CPU or 16-core CPU, so servers, they have large resources, right? Huge resources. So the LLMs will need higher resource requirements, but your SLMs, they will need less resources, everyone. Your large language models will primarily be hosted on a cloud, because in cloud we have better infrastructure. The scalability factor is there. Based on the requirement, the infrastructure can scale up, right? So the LLMs are normally hosted on the cloud, but the SLMs, okay, the SLMs are hosted on local devices. They are hosted on local devices or modest server infrastructure. Okay, so you can deploy the SLM on your laptop or desktop also. Okay, you can deploy the SLM, you can run your SLM, okay, from your laptop or your desktop also. But LLMs, they need higher infrastructure. Highly intensive computation. The computation power of the LLMs are very high. They can help you solve complex tasks. They can help you solve complex tasks. But SLMs, they have less computing complexity. They cannot solve highly complex problems. They cannot solve highly complex problems, everyone. So coming to the examples, GPT-4. So now you all will get a bit confused. So let me clarify here. OpenAI. OpenAI is the name of a company, everyone. Okay. OpenAI is the name of a company. It has come up with a product known as ChatGPT. It has come up with a product known as ChatGPT. Right? It has come up with a product known as ChatGPT, and this ChatGPT can run on different models. Okay, different models. So this ChatGPT has different models. Now this GPT-4 is old now. Okay, we have GPT-5 as well, everyone. So GPT-4 by OpenAI is an example of LLM.
Hello, Chandra.
Yeah, tell me.
I have one question actually. Chat GPT can run on different models means what, like different models?
Yeah, see, when they developed this product, right, ChatGPT, so it is continuously evolving, right? So these are mathematical models, right? So when this first started, they created a mathematical model which could do a lot of tasks, right? Then they improved that, means they brought in more features. For example, I told you the models now can generate PowerPoint presentations for you. They can generate Excel sheets for you. They can generate videos for you. But that was not the capability in the beginning itself, right? So day by day, they are basically increasing the capability, the features. The models were not able to think earlier. They were not able to analyze properly earlier. Understood? So that is where I'm saying models. There are different models. Okay, so GPT-4 is an example of LLM. Okay, so when chat GPT is running, like yesterday, I showed you the use case where it generated the test cases. So that we used the chat GPT, right? But in the backend, it is using one of the mathematical model, one of the LLM, where the algorithm is written that once I get this input, what kind of output am I going to generate? Are you getting me? So that is a model. Okay. Then similarly, Gemini by Google. That is again the LLM. But SLM, as I told, the complexity power is less, the computation power is less, right? So the Gamma models by Google, that is SLM. Phi 2 by Microsoft is an example of SLM. Okay. As part of this training, we are primarily going to deal with LLMs. Okay, large language models. So when I go more deeper into the sessions, you will be able to understand. Okay. Let me just go through the chat once,
Chandra,
all of
sorry
you.
to interfere you.
Yeah, tell me.
Yeah, so you mean to say like chat GPT, whenever like we enter whatever enter in chat GPT, like whatever questions we ask to chat GPT. So behind that, the algorithm that is running. So you mean to say that is the model
Yes, that is the model
LLM.
behind your user, right? That is the model. Yes, Surendra, this is the AI training session going on. Okay. So one very important thing, one very important information, not sure how many of you know that. We're calling it GPT models. Now, what is the full form of GPT, all of you? Generative pre-trained transformer models. Generative pre-trained transformer models. Now, why is it called as GPT models? Generative, because it can generate content. It can generate content in various forms. Pre-trained, why? Why pre-trained? I told you here, they are trained on extensive textual data or input data. They are trained on input, huge amount of input data. Why transformer? They are using the transformer architecture. So if anyone asks you what is the full form of GPT, generative pre-trained transformer model, all of you. Clear, everyone? Any questions, anyone on this slide?
So this
On
machine
previous,
learning and LLMs are same or
Sorry,
different?
your voice is a bit feeble for me. Can you please be a bit louder?
So this machine learning models and this LLM models, are they both related or they're different?
The machine learning models and LLMs, you're
LLMs,
asking.
yes.
Yeah, they are
What's the
different.
difference?
No, they are different. So machine learning was able to basically learn from data and process that and take some decisions. Like, for example, I gave you an example of spam emails filtering, right? Or whenever previously, whenever you were typing anything on Google search, right? When you type, it was able to generate some further text, right? But it was not generating any content, right? It was just able to detect from you, and it was not taking, means basically, it was not generating any content. But these LLMs are now able to generate content for you. Are you getting me? So in machine learning, it was learning from the data. It was taking some decisions in which explicit programming instruction was not required. Based on the data learned, it was predicting the pattern, it was analyzing the data, and then it was basically, taking the decision. But here, it is taking the decision, it is predicting, means it is analyzing the data, the language models, the LLMs, right? They are analyzing the data, and then they are able to generate content also in natural language. So they are taking the natural language input, as well as they are able to generate the output also in the natural language, based on the context, based on the instruction given by the user. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah. But yes, these LLMs again use machine learning techniques, deep learning techniques or algorithms, as well as the NLP, because all these things are required by the LLMs. Okay, because they are able to combine the power of all these mathematical models or techniques, and they are able to generate that kind of output. Short info on OpenAI. So OpenAI is a vendor or a company which is which is the owner of the ChatGPT product, Jyoti. So I think you can search on the internet about OpenAI. I think the CEO is or the founder is Sam Altman, right? So it is a company basically. Okay, OpenAI.
Yeah, Chandra. So I was not like basically specific to OpenAI. I joined class late. I think the timing difference was not clear to me. But now I think it's 9:30, so I will join from that time. That's the reason I saw on your notepad or something you were writing that OpenAI, ChatGPT, and few models you have written there. So which you erased it right now. So I wanted to get the clear
Yeah, sure, no issue. So yeah,
description,
what I was
basically
trying to
what you
explain
have
there
for.
is, yeah, what
Yeah.
I was trying to explain there is OpenAI is the name of the company which has produced the product, right? ChatGPT, and ChatGPT is using different models in the background.
Okay.
Okay.
And
Yeah.
you said like GPT-4 is not using anymore, like you
No,
said
no,
it's
it is
outdated.
an older model now. So we have GPT 5 now. Okay. So with time they are upgrading. Understood. I'll come to
Okay.
that.
Okay.
How we can use
Sure.
different models and all. We'll see that. Okay.
Thank
But
you,
yeah,
Chandra.
again, come to confirm the timings. The yesterday only because of some unavoidable circumstances, we had to start with a delay of 30 minutes. But the timings are 8 p.m. to 9 p.m. IST, Monday to Friday.
Okay. So mine will, okay, I'm in a central, so mine will be 9:30.
Yeah, so you
Thank you,
can
Chandra. Yeah, sure, sure.
uh,
I will.
yeah, find out accordingly. Okay, so I think we are on time, everyone. Any other questions, anyone from today's session?
Chandra, one question. Um, so you said difference between LLM and SLM. So why would people use SLM? Because I mean, is it still being used or like?
Yeah, so when I have a small task, means when they started to develop these models, right? So they started with a small language model as well, right? So when you have a small task, I'll come, let me give an example. If my domain is specific to, let's say, history, right? I do not have any other task. My only domain is history. So what I can do, history doesn't need mathematical calculations, right? Complexity is not there. What will I do? And again, in history also, my focus is on Indian history. I do not want world history. I do not, don't want those things. So what will I do? Using the SLM, I will feed or I will train my model. Training means, you know what, guys? Feeding the data to it. Okay. So I will only focus on Indian history data. I'll feed the Indian history data to the SLM, and I can run it on my personal system. Okay. That model, and I'll be able to generate the output from the model. So I don't have to procure or purchase the LLM. I do not want higher resource, right, to run them. So that is where the difference comes into picture. Okay. So based on your requirement, you might use LLM or SLM, but practically for us, for our software testing training, the LLMs will be used. And yes, LLMs have now extensive usage. Okay. I hope I answered your question.
So the small SLMs will be always like trained and use only having a small set of data,
No,
whatever we are
both will be
giving input.
trained. LLM will also be trained and SLM will be trained. But
Yeah,
LLM has less training data, simpler architecture. Okay, but LLMs,
I
large
mean it's
data
still
sets.
Yeah, LLM is trained like GPT-4 or GPT-5 that already it's a predefined set, but SLM is like something that we are giving input, and then based on that input, they are giving you the.
In both the cases, we are giving input, but here my input data is very less. It is limited in SLM.
Okay.
Okay, but in LLM, the training data, if both models are trained, both language models are trained on input data. Otherwise, they cannot process your out. We'll deep dive much into it because of because there are limitations and all. We'll see those concepts. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. So I think we are on time. We'll stop the session for today. I hope you all enjoyed today's session. Thank you all for joining. Sorry. Yeah, is there a question?
Hello,
So,
Yeah, please tell me.
Chandra, could you go to that previous slide, that deep learning and
Okay, so I have stopped the recording. Can we take your question tomorrow?
yeah, sure. Actually,
Yeah,
I just
please,
want.
please. Also, actually, when I'll start every session, I'll ask like if there are any questions from the previous session. So please keep your question for tomorrow, and we'll discuss it. Okay.
okay. Okay, Chandra. So I think I have not missed a lot. Looks like that you were giving the clarification on what is OpenAI, how the ChatGPT
No,
of
we have gone through.
OpenAI.
We have gone through the different terms today. So I'll
Okay.
suggest you please go through the recording tomorrow. So that will be shared tomorrow. You can go
Okay.
through the recording. Okay.
Okay. Thank you, Chandra.
Thank you. Thank you all.
Thanks.
So
Bye.
Thank
Kundan,
you,
I think there
everyone.
is a question from you like morning batch is available or not. So no, currently I'm only taking the evening batch. So yeah, morning is not available as of now.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you. Thank you all.